Gary G with Inland Valley News here at the Marriott Marquis Hotel for the Super Bowl breakfast. Stay tuned.
Enviable work ethic, noble ambitions, and a unique commitment to God, family, and others.
So after this, everyone goes home, everyone moves on to something else. So I think that's a good feeling for everybody, you know, because everyone's put a lot of time in over the course of the season. It's been a marathon, you know, and you're kind of at the end of the race. And you're at the 26-mile of the marathon, but it's the most important mile and you got a chance to win it. And this is when you need to run your best mile, you know. So hopefully you didn't spend it all, you know, early in the season, but you know, we got a chance, and you know, hopefully we can finish
the breakfast. But the Patriots have an 8:45 meeting, and Matthew won't be able to be there. So, well, let me make a phone call. So let me see what I can do. We've got to get this going. So I picked up the phone and I called my partner at NBC, Rodney Harrison. I said, Rodney, you're close to Coach. You know how big this is. Now, I'm not asking you to have him change the 8:45 meeting. You guys have won a lot of Super Bowls with the 8:45 meeting. But just ask him if Matthew can be a little bit late so he can accept this award. Dead silence on the phone. He said, as much as I love you, I'm not making that call, and I wouldn't advise you to make that call. So we thought, well, we knew the next best thing. How can we present Matthew?
And a good big man is always better than a good little man. Excuse me. For all you little guys. But I can tell you I had an indication that my son Matthew was going to be a competitor because my first parent-teacher conference, Miss Armstrong, he was in pre-kindergarten over at the church preschool, and she called me and she said, I need to speak to you, Mr. Slater, I'm having a problem with Matthew. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what has the kid done? So I go in and I sit down with Miss Armstrong. She said, you know, when the kids go out to the playground, you know, the boys will pick the ball up and run with the ball, and Matthew will go and, you know, he'll tap them down. And, you know, there's concrete out there, and we don't want to get anybody hurt. You know? So I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, bad. She said, well, the problem is when the girls pick up the football and they run with it, he goes and tackles them to the ground as well. So you need to, if you can help me with that, then we're going to alleviate that problem. Now, all the time that I'm playing pro football, my wife never said one time, Dad is going to play football. She always said, Dad is going to work. Dad has got to go to work. Dad is going to work. Dad's got to go to work. And so when I sit Matthew down, feeling pretty good about the fact that I got to convince him not to be tackling girls and all that, I sit him down and I said, Matthew, I said, you know, so I'm told the story, you can't be tackling them down. And he sit there, he was about 4.5, he sit there and he shook his head. He was listening to every word I said. And when I got done, he's like, he was waiting on me to finish. He looked up at me and he said, Dad, it's my job, it's my job. I said, no, it is not your job, it's my job. You got to stop tackling the girls. And so, on behalf of my son, on behalf of my wife Annie, sitting right here, we've been married 40 years. And thank you so much, and I accept this award for my son. Have a great day.
I just wanted to make sure I asked both coaches.
I wish that I could be there with you all this morning to receive this award. I'm so humbled by this whole experience. But again, my apologies for not being able to be there with you this morning. As I sit here and think about being the 2017 Bart Starr Award recipient, there's so many things that come to mind. But first and foremost, as we get started here, I feel like that I need to say thank you. I need to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for it is through His mercy and grace that I am able to sit here and receive this award on this great day. God has been good to me, and I want to acknowledge that. I'd also like to thank the Starr family. What a tremendous family they are. Mr. and Mrs. Starr, Bart Starr Jr., I'm so humbled to have learned more about your story over the past several weeks. Secondly, I'd like to thank my mother and father, Annie and Jackie Slater, who are there this morning. Without them and their guidance, I would not be here. The two of you have given myself and my brother David the greatest example of what it looks like to be two people submitted to Christ and committed to one another. They themselves have been married 40 years, and I'm just so proud to call you Mom and Dad. Dad, to you especially, to be able to share this award with you, it means so much to me. Ultimately, the man that I've looked up to the most in my life. You came into my life, you challenged me to be a better man in so many ways. You inspired me to be greater, to do better, and I thank you for that. You are the love of my life. And Lord Jeremiah, I know you'll be in there watching this right now and probably looking for some food or something like that, but be a good boy, listen to Mom. But my son has given me a new purpose in life, a new motivation. He keeps me accountable without even knowing it, so thank you, son.